Hi kiddies, how are you? I hope you all are fine and in a very good state of health. So, welcome you all, and in this video we'll discuss a new chapter, the treeless grassland. To understand this chapter, first of all have a look on this map, and the line passes in a center of this map is called equator, that you already know, and above equator lies Tropic of Cancer and below lies Tropic of Capricorn, and areas between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is known as torrid zone. I think you have already done in heat zones, right? And above Tropic of Cancer lies Arctic Circle, and below the Tropic of Capricorn lies Antarctic Circle, right? And the area between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle and area between Tropic of Capricorn and Arctic Circle is known as temperate zone. And above Arctic Circle and below Antarctic Circle lies area called frigid zone. I hope these zones are clear to you. And now let's talk about the grasslands. Most of the grasslands we found in the temperate zone, as we have discussed already here. This is temperate zone, and this area. Most of the grasslands lies in temperate zone, right? And in this chapter, the different grasslands we can see here in this map, like the prairies, the steppes, the pampas, velds, and Australia. In Australia lies downs, right? So in this chapter we are going to talk about the prairie grasslands. These are lying in the continent North America, right? So let's know first of all about grasslands, what grasslands are. Grasslands are large plains of grass which are found in warm and dry places. That means it's a huge area with grasslands where we find grass only, and this is because of the climatic conditions are warm and dry, right? So the next, rainfall is too little for forests to grow, but just enough to prevent the land from turning into a desert. That means this area does not get very high rainfall, or even it doesn't get very less rainfall, right? It gets enough rainfall to prevent that land from turning into a desert, right? There are few trees and bushes in the grasslands that are also in temperate zone with different names in different continents. As I have already told you that we find these grasslands in temperate zone, and these grasslands are given different names like prairies, pampas, steppes, velds, and downs. These are the different names of different grassland which we find in different continents. Now let's talk about the prairies, as this chapter is about the prairies. These are the grasslands. What are prairies? As I already told you, this is a vast stretch of gently sloping temperate grassland, and these grasslands lying in North America, right? Prairies in French itself means the grasslands. Alright, in this slide we'll talk about the location, land, climate, and vegetation. So first of all, let's talk about location. So these prairies extend from Canada in the north to Mexico in the south. Here we are talking about the North America, right? So prairie starts from Canada in the north and it extends towards Mexico in the south, right? So that means it covers almost, whole of the central USA. right? Now let's talk about land. The prairies once covered with thick tall grasses. पहले क्या था इसमें? बहुत thick tall grasses थी. But today these flat and fertile lands are the biggest farming. Now this vast land has converted into a farming area, right? Now let's talk about the climate. These prairies have a cold climate in winters and summers are hot, right? And rainfall is moderate. Maximum rainfall occurs in summer season, right? It is moderate, about 52 to 70 centimeter. And vegetation that we find here, a variety of plants grow in these grasslands. Trees are very rare in prairies, except along the rivers. Rivers, you can see the surroundings of rivers do have trees, right? But grass grows quickly during the spring season and changes to hay in autumn. Hay is a you can say a feeding material for animals like cow and all. Look at this water body. This is the Mississippi River, lies in North America. And do you know, this Mississippi River is the longest river in North America, right? It rises in Lake Itasca and drains into the Gulf of Mexico. Mark Twain's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn describe the people and places along this river. You know what is this? The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. This is a novel which describes about the people and places along this river, right? Now let's talk about the wildlife. The wild animal that we found here are bison, coyote, prairie chicken and prairie dog. The animals that live here have adapted themselves to the semi-arid climate. They can withstand very hot summers and freezing cold winters. That means they have adopted these climatic conditions. So this is the reason they are quite comfortable living there. Now let's talk about the economic activities. Economic activities, I always describe in the video that economic activities are always related with the occupation by the people, by that occupation how they earn, right? So this area is already called wheat basket of the world. It is quite understood, right? That means it's the area is you can say the people living here growing multiple crops, and especially this area or the people grows wheat in large quantity here, right? So the prairies are intensively cultivated. Corn is cultivated in the eastern part and the wheat in the central part. So area is divided and the eastern part is cultivated with the corn and the central part is cultivated with wheat grain, right? Cattle is also reared here in the western part. Farmers produce enough wheat for the whole country and also for export. So prairies are called the wheat basket of the world. Why it is called the wheat basket of the world? This is just because a large quantity of wheat is exported to the other countries, right? This is the reason it is called wheat basket of the world. Other crops also grown here, that are barley, rye, oats, lentil, mustard, peas and beans. These prairies has also meat packing factories and dairy farms and flour mills, right? Along with the farming, people are also involved in other economic activities, right? So those are many minerals like gold, silver and potash are also mined here. mines are here, so people used to work there to find out these minerals, right? Lignite coal and mineral oil and natural gas are mined in large quantity, right? So the availability of these minerals has led to the development of ore crushing factories and oil refineries. As maximum of the minerals are found here, so large scale factories are also established here. In that way, people are getting employment, right? And an extensive network of roads, railway and canals in the region coupled with industries have made the prairies one of the most industrialized region in the world, right? That means this area has a multiple network of roads, maximum roads and railways. Those are all developed, and this is the reason it has become an industrialized region, right, in the whole world. So most of the export is done through these network of roads and railways, right? Now let's discuss the life of the people. As you know that this area is known as wheat basket of the world. So this is because this area is cultivating land in a large quantity and growing wheat for exporting to the whole country, right? So the people living here, they use mechanical methods, right? Machineries, big machineries are used to cultivate the land, and you can see here this is called homestead. Homestead with a silo in the prairies. What is homestead? These are the farms, and farmers or workers used to live here, and this cylindrical shape you can see here, this is used to store grains and it is called silo. So let's know more about it. European settler converted this huge grassland into farmland. European settler, they have converted this land, this was grassland, and they have converted into a farmland. Like farming has started here, right? Farmers and workers live with their families on the farm, right? Homestead, as I have shown you in the previous, this is called homestead. These are called homestead, right? So homestead are built for the farmers and their families and for the workers. So the farmers and worker with their families used to live there. The entire farm work is done by machines. Thus, only few workers are needed to cultivate thousands of hectares of farmland, right? Maximum work is done by machines only. Food grains are stored in silos. The cylindrical shape that I have shown you in the previous slide, that is called silo, and this silo is used to store grains, right? The open land towards the west is hilly. You can see here, this is a map of prairies. You can see ये west जो land है, west direction है, this is a hilly area, and the soil here is coarse and less fertile. Coarse means which is very rough. Less fertile means it is not much able to grow plants, right? In this region, animals are reared on large open areas are called ranches, right? This area where animals are reared are called ranches. Cattle are reared mainly for meat and milk. Big dairy farms have modern facility for processing milk. Like manually, they don't process milk from the animals. They even have machines for that also, right? Machines have almost replaced manual labor and dairy farm as well. Like maximum machine work is done. They used to do all the work through machines. This is the reason very less workers are required for that. So my dear student, that was all about the chapter. I hope everything is clear to you, right? So in this chapter we have talked about the prairies, the grasslands, and we'll be back with the next chapter in our next video. Till then, take care of yourself and thank you very much.